Imagine journeying through life with a wonderful spouse and both of you desire to have a child, only to come up to have unsuccessful attempts at conception. You may come to the conclusion that IVF may be the last viable option to actually conceive a child. Now you may ask yourself though, am I playing the role of God in this natural selection of reproduction? Also though, you may ask yourself, if I never take that opportunity to try this in vitro fertilization procedure, how will I ever know if I will have a wonderful child or daughter? Couples that are faced with challenges can overcome this with the in vitro fertilization procedure, which includes the workup process of IVF, the medical laboratory visits required, and the creation of life through IVF. Hello, my name is Ricky Wood. Me and my wife both took that journey to actually do in vitro fertilization. Today I would like to explain with you about the workup process of IVF, medical laboratory visits required, and the creation of life through IVF. The workup process of in vitro fertilization requires a great deal of planning. To begin this journey and this workup process, you'll want to speak with your healthcare provider right off the bat. That person needs to evaluate your healthcare, and they need to look to see what, for diagnosis purposes, the best option for your actual reproductive healthcare needs. The next part of this is going to be looking at affordable options and actually going in vitro fertilization. Now I can speak from experience. Me and my wife both encountered this up front. The doctor told us right off the bat that it would cost $30,000 to actually perform this procedure. Wow. Can you just imagine $30,000 right off the bat? Brand new to this procedure. It seems like your world's flipped upside down. And guess what? There's no guarantees. Yes, you do have a good percentage that there will be a live birth, but not 100% guaranteed. Me and my wife both chose to seek affordable healthcare option, and actually found that this procedure would only cost us around $11,000 to do 2 trials. After finding affordable healthcare options, you'll actually want to find the right IVF doctor and nurse that can handle your healthcare needs. According to Should Health Insurance Cover IVF Issues and Options article, Peter Newman states, others have contended that IVF is a low probability, high cost venture that is often physically and psychologically painful, and that it encourages addictive, gambling-like behavior in couples desperate to have a child. Hopkins 1992. Now that you've had a brief moment to understand how the workup process in virtual fertilization and the planning takes place, let's look at the medical laboratory visits that are required. For me and my wife, we chose to use the Connecticut Medical Facility in Tacoma, Washington to actually conduct this procedure. And we were very fortunate to have Lieutenant Colonel Chow and Nurse Jackie actually handle our appointments, our scheduling, all the way down to the day of extraction and the day of transplanting the actual embryos themselves. Now through all that workup process, my wife actually had to take multiple shots, and those were scheduled shots over the course of about 3 weeks, actually before we went in for extraction. Now there did reach a point though where Lieutenant Colonel Chow let us know that it was time to actually go to Seattle Reproductive Medicine to actually have these embryos extracted for a quality check and count. Now once that procedure took place, Lieutenant Colonel Chow sat down with both of us and advised on the best healthcare option in planning those embryos on the day of transplant. He advised that we would do 2 fully developed embryos on that day when it was going to happen. And that was an actual scheduled day where we went in to to have this procedure done. According to the article, should health insurance cover IVF issues and options? Peter Newman states, in 1985 in the United States, 7,500 IVF cycles were initiated, and there were 1,200 deliveries by 1993. The number had risen to 50,800 cycles and 8,700 deliveries. American Society for Reproductive Medicine, 1995. Now that you've had a moment to see how the actual medical laboratory visits are required and how it depends on how successful the outcome will be, let's lastly look at the creation of life through IVF. Wow, the creation of life through IVF is just an amazing experience. It's something that if you've never done it, it's really hard to explain, but for me and my wife, we actually experienced this, and I got to see the creation of life firsthand through pretty much the means of a magnifying glass from a lab technician extracting those two fully developed embryos and then actually handing those to Lieutenant Colonel Chow, and then the doctor actually implanting those embryos into my wife. It was just an amazing experience to see how through modern technology and science, how it gives you the possibility of actually having a child. Now, when this procedure was done, there was a period of time where we actually had to wait for the fully developed embryos to take their course and attach to do its natural process. Now, about around 2 months later, my wife went for her first ultrasound at Madigan Medical Facility. Once again, I'm on the East Coast for military training at Alpena, Michigan. It was on a Friday. I was waiting to board an aircraft, and this was the day. I knew on that Friday I would be getting that call on what the outcome would be. I was sitting on a bus. My heart was pounding. I was very excited, anticipating, waiting for that call. The phone finally rang. My wife let me know over the phone that we had 2 heartbeats. Her parents were with her at their ultrasound. It was just a very awesome and happy, joyful moment for both of us. And our friends Matthew and Amanda Youngblood were with me at the time, and they were very excited for the news that we had received. According to a National Review article called Out of the Freezer, Ramesh Honoru states, pro-lifers believe that discarding these embryos is a species of homicide and as such grossly unjust, but freezing the embryos indefinitely is at least disquieting. Now that you have this time to understand a little bit about the creation of life through IVF, I would like to recap over what was discussed today. Today, I had the opportunity to speak with you about the workup process of virtual fertilization, the medical laboratory visits that are required, and the creation of life through IVF. In life, a couple will reach a point where they both desire to have a child, but through unsuccessful attempts have not been able to conceive. If you're ever faced with having to use virtual fertilization, know that it's all worth the travel with hearing those wonderful words, "I love you, Daddy," or "I love you, Mama." That is a road that me and my wife both traveled together for us to have 2 little wonderful twin girls.